The Tidal Basin is one of the most important cultural landscapes in this country. It is the place that embodies our nation's collective memories in many ways. It's a place that's been in a constant state of transformation, from swamp to formally planned environment to pastoral landscape for monuments and recreation, but it is definitely under threat because of climate change.
Through our research, we've looked at how that's going to impact aging infrastructure, but also how that impacts the cultural landscape, thinking about the cherry trees, the impacts of the rising waters, and also the economic impact.
So the question is, how do you anticipate that? How do you plan for that? How do you help to protect and preserve, but at the same time maybe envision a new kind of tidal basin, a new type of place? What's very interesting about the Ideas Lab is that it's really free and open.
They've chosen 5 of the best firms in the world.
Some of us think globally, some of us think purely ecologically, some people think formally. Some firms brought a cultural attitude, one of advocacy for voices that are not being heard or met.
And so through those lenses, we're actually able to investigate these different ideas and push them, hopefully, to as kind of radical front as we can.
I think that landscape architects do have a very unique way of analyzing these kinds of projects and these kinds of situations, and we can get deeper into the root causes and the more sustainable solutions that can actually get built in the future.
It's incredible to be working on a problem of this dimension in a competitive setting where no one will win. And because there's no winner, we can really go outside the bounds of what we consider to be orthodox preservation practice.
It allows us to test and probe alternative ideas that a normal project with a normal client and all of the constraints wouldn't allow you to do.
We went from the conservative to the transformative, purely spectacle. What we're looking at is how do you get to the point where you move past the impossibilities and actually look to those speculative futures.
There is a combination of things that need to be addressed, and they have to do with people, they have to do with environment, they have to do with technology, they have to do with tourism, they have to do with self-imagery of what it means to be American.
Places like the Tidal Basin offer opportunities for us to tell diverse stories about ourselves with this burden of history, creating these allegorical landscapes in order to talk about a single place, which is the U.S.
It's more about the narrative that's created than the actual physical thing. And so we're beginning to investigate, what that means in relation to the river, in relation to MLK, in relation to Jefferson.
There is this opportunity to create a new type of landscape that is optimistic for the nation about the way we can come together and preserve and reinvent a place.
It could be an experimental place and a place that's looking forward and not simply backward, where issues of the 21st century, most pointedly climate change and environment, could be demonstrated in a way that is palpable for people to experience, people to see, people to learn from.
I think at the end of this, you're going to see 5 very different ideas that have been enabled through this process to kind of push to the extents of the thinking.
There's no quick fix here, but there is movement that is incremental, and trying to get that consensus and get funding and get the timeline to start is very, very important to get that done.
The durable good that will come out of this process is how we approach historic resources of this kind in the face of potentially devastating climate vulnerability.
This could be a place that could become a model of advocacy for lost narratives, a model for the nation to really kind of think about what real democratic space is.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to re-envision a landscape at this scale, in the sense that whatever is done here is going to have a significant impact not only across the United States, not only in DC, but around the world.